Since its debut in 1992, Mortal Kombat has evolved from a simple arcade game into one of the most legendary fighting franchises in history. Today, I'll take you through its evolution over the years, so get ready for a journey filled with blood, fatalities, and nostalgia. It all started in 1992, when Ed Boon and John Tobias were working at Midway Games and wanted to create a different kind of fighting game. Inspired by the success of Street Fighter II, they decided to develop something darker, more violent, and more realistic. Initially, the idea was to make a video game based on Jean-Claude Van Damme, but that concept was eventually scrapped, leading to the creation of original characters. And so, the first Mortal Kombat was born. Unlike other games of its time, Mortal Kombat used digitized, real-life actors, giving it a unique visual style. But what truly made it stand out was its extreme level of violence and its iconic fatalities, brutal finishing moves that allowed players to eliminate their opponents in shocking ways. This level of gore sparked major controversy and even played a key role in the creation of the ESRB, the age rating system for video games. Mortal Kombat was a massive success, selling over 1 million copies in its first few months and dominating arcade machines. This led to a fast-tracked sequel, Mortal Kombat 2, 1993. This installment improved everything: more detailed graphics, smoother gameplay, bloodier fatalities, and new characters like Kitana, Mileena, Kung Lao, and Baraka. It also introduced friendships, humorous moves instead of fatalities, and babalities, turning opponents into babies, adding a comedic touch. Then, in 1995, Mortal Kombat 3 brought major innovations. The combo system was introduced, allowing for fluid attack chains. Animalities were also added, allowing characters to transform into animals to finish off their enemies. New fighters like Sindel, Cabal, Nightwolf, and the cyborgs Cyrax and Sector joined the roster. However, some fans were disappointed by the absence of Scorpion and other classic characters, leading to the release of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, an improved version that brought back fan favorites and added more stages. To close out this golden era, Mortal Kombat Trilogy was released in 1996, a definitive edition that gathered all characters and stages from previous games, along with new special moves. It was a great tribute to the saga before transitioning into 3D. With the rise of 3D gaming, Midway faced a challenge, keeping Mortal Kombat's essence while modernizing its visuals. In 1997, they released Mortal Kombat 4, the first to use polygonal models instead of digitized actors. In an effort to revive the franchise, Midway launched Mortal Kombat: Deadly Alliance in 2002, marking a radical shift in gameplay. Each character now had 3 interchangeable fighting styles, adding more strategic depth to battles. Then, in 2004, Mortal Kombat: Deception reintroduced stage fatalities, where the environment could be used for brutal eliminations. It also featured alternate game modes, like Chess Combat, a chess-like mode with fights, and Conquest, an expanded story mode. In 2006, Mortal Kombat: Armageddon pushed the franchise to its limits by including every character from the series up to that point. While exciting for fans, the game received criticism for lacking personalized fatalities and having balancing issues due to the massive roster. This was the last game of the Midway era before the franchise changed hands and entered a new phase. By 2008, Midway Games was in financial crisis and the Mortal Kombat franchise was struggling. In an attempt to reach a wider audience, they released Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, a crossover that brought Mortal Kombat fighters together with DC Comics superheroes. While the idea was novel and allowed for epic matchups like Scorpion vs. Batman or Sub-Zero vs. Superman, the game received mixed reviews. One of the most criticized aspects was the toned-down violence. Fatalities were either softened or replaced with heroic brutalities for DC characters, something that disappointed longtime fans. Shortly after, Midway declared bankruptcy. And Warner Brothers acquired the franchise, renaming the studio NetherRealm Studios, with Ed Boon at the helm. Under this new leadership, they released the 2011 reboot simply titled Mortal Kombat MK9. This game marked a return to the franchise's roots, featuring 2D-style combat but with high-quality 3D graphics. It also retold the story of the first 3 games in a cinematic way, using an innovative story mode that revolutionized fighting games. One of its biggest innovations was the introduction of X-ray moves, special attacks that showed bones breaking and organs being crushed in slow motion. This added an unprecedented level of visual brutality. The gameplay also saw significant improvements, with smoother movement, a balanced combat system and mechanics that were accessible to new players while still offering depth for veterans. Mortal Kombat 9 was a massive success, selling over 5 million copies and saving the franchise from the brink of extinction. It also set the foundation for future games with its cinematic story mode and well-executed fan service. 4. After the massive success of Mortal Kombat 9, NetherRealm continued to improve the franchise. In 2015, they released Mortal Kombat X, taking the series to a new level with more realistic graphics, smoother animations, and refined gameplay. One of its main innovations was the introduction of 3 variations per character, allowing players to choose different fighting styles to adapt to different playstyles. As for the story, Mortal Kombat X introduced a 25-year time jump after the events of Mortal Kombat 9, bringing in new characters like Cassie Cage, Jackie Briggs, Takeda Takahashi, and Kung Jin, who were descendants or apprentices of classic fighters. It also brought back Shinnok as the main villain, alongside a new enemy, Kotal Khan, a warrior inspired by Aztec culture who took the throne of Outworld. Another major innovation in Mortal Kombat X was the Faction Wars system, where players chose a faction and participated in global events to earn rewards. Additionally, the Fatalities were taken to the next level, with even more gruesome and realistic deaths, reaffirming Mortal Kombat as the king of violence in fighting games. This game was a commercial and critical success, selling over 11 million copies, making it the best-selling Mortal Kombat at the time. 4 years later, in 2019, NetherRealm released Mortal Kombat 11, the game that took the franchise to its highest point in terms of storytelling and gameplay. The story revolved around Kronika, the Keeper of Time, who sought to rewrite history to erase the villain's defeats. This allowed players to see interactions between classic and modern versions of the characters, creating moments filled with nostalgia. Mortal Kombat 11 improved every aspect of its predecessor, featuring ultra-realistic graphics, deep character customization, and a more tactical combat system. It introduced the Fatal Blow, a special attack that activated when a player's health was low, allowing for massive damage to balance the fights. Crushing blows were also added, critical moves that triggered under specific conditions, adding an extra layer of strategy. The downloadable content, DLC, of Mortal Kombat 11 was also a major attraction, featuring guest characters like the Terminator, Spawn, Joker, and RoboCop, alongside the return of classic fighters like Shang Tsung, Mileena, and Rain. The game also had an expansion called Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, which added a new campaign and characters like Fujin and Shiva. Mortal Kombat 11 was an undeniable success, selling over 15 million copies and setting a new standard for modern fighting games. It also cemented NetherRealm Studios as one of the most important studios in the genre. The year 2023 marked a grand return to the franchise's roots with Mortal Kombat 1, a game that served as a kind of reboot for the series. This game not only brought back classic elements, but also aimed to redefine the story and gameplay while making full use of cutting-edge technology. Mortal Kombat 1 wasn't just a flashy name, it was a true reboot in terms of narrative. The story took an unexpected turn by rewriting the franchise's timeline, allowing for new character arcs while maintaining the core traits that fans love. Instead of continuing the previous game's plot, the story started fresh, giving developers the chance to offer new versions of classic fighters and redefine their origins. The game also leveraged ray tracing technology and advanced facial animations to give characters more realistic expressions and cinematic scenes, taking the experience to another level. Like its predecessors, Mortal Kombat 1 received positive feedback from both critics and players. And so, we've reached the end of this brutal journey through the history of Mortal Kombat. From its pixelated arcade origins to the stunning next-gen graphics, the franchise has continuously reinvented itself, staying true to its essence and winning over new generations of players. But tell me, what's your favourite Mortal Kombat game and why? Leave your answer in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more content like this. See you in the next video.